It's steady as she goes for the Bank of Japan as they hold fire on further monetary easing amid concerns over the strength of the world's third largest economy. Marco Wagner joins me down the line to discuss. Marco, the central bank defied easing calls, which may not have been too much of a surprise for market participants, but perhaps more interestingly, policymakers lowered their growth expectations to 1.1% in light of tepid production data and the sales tax rise. Do you share the same fears?
No, I do not share their fears. Today's industrial production data even indicate that the economy has grown pretty well in the first quarter. This was, of course, mainly driven by private consumption, which was anticipated due to the VAT hike from 5 to 8% at the beginning of this month. In the second quarter, we will, of course, see a counter movement. But here, I do not believe that the tax hike will stall the economy as it once did back in 1997. Because first, Japan's economy is much more robust today, to my mind, and then second, the government has already released a stimulus package to cushion the fall in the demand. So we assume that the Japanese economy will be back on a moderate growth track already in the third quarter.
Also unchanged was the BOJ's view that inflation would come in at 1.3% over the same time period. Indeed, the BOJ has stood pat since offering an intense burst of monetary stimulus in April last year. Can we expect expansion in 2014, do you think?
I'm quite sure that the BOJ will come up with further measures in the second half of this year, because it has to, as the inflation rate has not accelerated since December. It still stays at 1.5%, and in my opinion, it will not accelerate further because, for one, the cost pressure from higher import prices, and second, the higher producer prices is abating. Therefore, to reach its goal of a 2% inflation, the BOJ will have to do more. And in my opinion, first measure of the BOJ will make a call and announce that it will extend its asset purchase program to 2015, and I also think it will give us a numerical target of how much it's going to buy JCB'S.
The dollar yen's reaction to the Bank of Japan's continuation to buy JCB'S to the tune of 50 trillion yen annually was rather muted, to say the least, as the pair jerked 12 pips higher to 102.48 from 102.36 prior to the decision, only to retrace back to the levels registered before the announcement. Now, next we have the turn of the FOMC ahead of Friday's NFP figures. So what is your outlook for this pair moving forward?
We assume that the Fed will keep its interest rates unchanged, but at the same time the FOMC will decide to cut the monthly asset purchases by another $10 billion. With the BOJ being on hold, the yen should hence depreciate, and we see the yen-dollar course at 107 at the end of June.
Marco, lovely to speak to you as always. Thank you very much for your time and insights today. Well, viewers, Sophia Eribo brings today's press review on Iraq's general election, so make sure you click back for that. But for me and for now, it's goodbye.